This episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast is brought to you by Times Cineplex. Hey guys, it's Kev.
What's up? This is Naz.
I am Tibby.
This is Del.
And y'all know who this is.
And we are
The Wayang Crew.
Oh yeah.
Hey, welcome back everyone to the Wayang Crew Podcast. It's another episode this week and we are all back. What's up?
Woohoo!
We're recording this really early on a Sunday morning, hence the lack of energy this week. But yeah, we're all back.
I gave it my all.
That was your all? Are you serious? Anyway, this week we're going to be talking about Skyscraper, which is the latest Dwayne Johnson movie that has hit theaters here in Brunei as of last week. We'll be giving you a short review later on in the show. But first, my first co-host, it's Del.
Hello.
What's up?
Okay.
Wow, you were not kidding.
I woke up like an hour ago. And I am ready to go. I'm ready to face this day starting with this podcast.
Right, I've been up since 5 a.m., but that's another story. Up next, it's the other co-host of the Wayang Crew Podcast. It's Kai.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Everybody be keeping in touch with Comic-Con updates?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we have lots to talk about this week because it is Comic-Con this weekend. Well, this week and next week, actually, in San Diego.
No, it's just this weekend.
Yeah, but things still trail off till Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we will be covering a little bit of the big news that has been happening in the last couple of days at Comic-Con SDCC 2018. Yeah. Up next, it's the co-host, the final co-host for today of the Wayang Crew Podcast. It's Naz.
Woo! Hi.
What's up?
Sup?
Huzzah.
You could tell if we had our way, we would just be saying sup like for the next 1 hour.
Every one of us is just a little bit sort of lagging.
Yeah. we're all in tune to Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, we haven't jumped off yet today. It was just sort of like,
We'll get there as we talk about Skyscraper.
Where's my coffee?
Where's my coffee?
Oh, that's what I was missing.
Right. Okay, let's get to the news this week on the Wayang Crew Podcast. Big news. First up, we're going to have to address this one. James Gunn has been fired from Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.3. And this is because of some tweets that resurfaced
In 2009.
from 2009. So they're about 10 years old, where he, demonstrated a little bit of sexism and homophobism and some aggression in those tweets. But, if you do read those tweets in context, it's a joke.
Yeah.
There are jokes in bad taste, but nonetheless, they are still jokes. I was reading some of these tweets actually resurfaced like 2-3 years ago.
They did. So the timeline is that he wrote these tweets trying to, in his own words, trying to be some sort of an edgy, kind of provocative comedian. He was doing it to elicit reactions out of people. And I guess if you watched his movie Super and Slither, I think, they're kind of there. They're always a bit off. He's always been a bit off kilter in terms of his stories. And then he did apologize for them when they first surfaced. I think this was just after he got the first Guardians gig.
Okay.
So he did apologize for them, and I think he consciously chose to leave them on his timeline instead of deleting them and admitting that. Because deleting them means he's actually trying to hide.
He's feeling guilty about it.
Yeah, and trying to hide it. So this whole thing kind of got blown out of proportion a couple of days ago, I think yesterday, when he got into a political argument with a far-right radical Twitter user. And this Twitter user went out of his way to screen grab these and kind of circulate them online. And it obviously caught the attention of Disney, I think, again. And I think that's when Disney said, we can't continue like this.
Yeah, I'm assuming Disney knew about these tweets, from 2-3 years ago when they first resurfaced. And this is just a knee-jerk reaction to sort of react because of the potential backlash from the general public or the fans in general. I feel bad for him.
I really do.
So much so because you have his brother, Sean Gunn, and even Bautista coming out in defense to say that what Disney is doing, I'm not okay with it.
Yeah.
I've not read any of the reactions, actually. I've not read anything outside of the main thing.
Yeah.
But, so...
I don't think Bautista blamed Disney for this, because he's just saying that it's not okay what's happening to James Gunn. But more so, I'm reading it in the lines of how people are bringing his past up to punish him right now.
Yeah. This throws a big spanner into the machine of Marvel, which is post Avengers Infinity War Part 2 or Avengers 4, they've already announced that everything is going to be more cosmic, which is something that James Gunn himself is kind of heading up with Guardians of the Galaxy and with his input in Infinity War and how we've seen certain parts of the Marvel cosmic universe. How do you think this might affect, the future of the MCU?
I think Marvel is a well-oiled machine, and I'm sure they'll be able to find... Well, I don't think saying the words "find someone to replace James Gunn" is the right way to go, because I don't think you could replace James Gunn creatively. But they will find somebody to fill the shoes. The only thing I feel really bad about is that the individual that called out James Gunn on this has actually had statistically way more, honestly, alarming content on his Twitter feed. So much so that there's been clips of him going on podcasts and talking about unspeakable things, which I really think is potentially a red flag for the law, because for all intents and purposes, this individual has uploaded and has participated in very sociopathic content.
That's a bit worrying, yeah.
Yeah, so for him to call out somebody who's openly apologize for what he's done and win, that's just very disturbing for me.
So this is a situation where it's like the pot calling the kettle black. He's in the same boat, kind of.
Yeah, but only difference is that James Gunn only said those things, whereas this individual has been recorded,
has taken it further.
Okay. as admissions of guilt. So it's very scary.
All right, so there you go. We at the Wayang Crew, we're a bit disappointed at this turn of events. James Gunn not in the MCU anymore. He's been dropped by Disney and Marvel. We'll just have to see what the future holds for the franchise.
Yeah.
And
I don't think we can blame Disney or Marvel.
Yeah.
No.
It's understood. They're a family brand.
Yeah.
And for somebody to talk about these things, no matter when, it's scary.
But then I, for one, don't mind changing directors for the third Guardians. I would like to see somebody new give their own take on what the
I think
Guardians
everyone's thinking it'll be Taika Waititi.
Really?
They're gonna bring him back for this?
He was able to...
Because he's quirky and...
Yeah. And I think Korg would be perfect with the Guardians.
Okay.
If he's still alive.
I hope he is.
He should be. All right, let's move to the next bit of the news, which is news from the Warner Brothers camp and DC, who just had their panel maybe like 10 hours ago as of time of recording. The first big news is we finally got the Aquaman trailer.
Woo!
Yay!
Am I the only one?
I'm just gonna say it. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
It was not like, whoa, this is so awesome. It's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this while I have Dell looking up at the ceiling and Kai looking at me with dead eyes.
I liked... up until this point, I am quite in favor of Aquaman directed by James Wan. And for some reason, I think James Wan chose to cut the trailer himself. I don't know if he has done that for his previous movies. And when I saw this morning, I thought this could be a disaster. This could be the worst DC film.
So Dell is somebody who doesn't mince his words.
I don't know. It's just CGI, a CGI fest. It was like so many creatures, and they are riding the. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about seeing human riding so many
sharks,
like whatever those creatures were in the water, and then and Jason Momoa's humor is so flat. Or the writing for him is so flat. Whenever he makes a joke, I cringe, and I'm not enjoying this trailer at all.
Okay, but this is just the first trailer, right? So
it doesn't feel like a first trailer. It feels like the last trailer because nothing is... There's no subtlety. Everything is laid out in front of us. Yeah. We see how the first act of the movie is going to be, and then the second and third act, we could probably piece it together from this one. Yeah,
it is kind of obvious looking at the trailer.
That's true.
I still maintain that it was okay. I'm not saying it's great, but it's okay. I agree with you on the whole CG thing. There's just too much of it.
And they don't look great, the CG.
Yeah, it didn't look great. It looked too cartoonish.
I don't think you can finish that much CGI so soon. So I would... the CG is the least of my problems, in all honesty.
Okay.
So soon? I mean, if they released this like 3 months ago, I would be, okay, I'll give it a pass. But then it's already July.
Yeah, this is out in December.
They'll get it done. Okay, Naz, what did you think before I go on my emotional rant?
I thought it was okay as well. Like, I didn't think it was bad.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Kai. I'm dreading this. I'm gonna have to cap you off soon, but yeah.
This is the thing, right? With all these DC movies, when I saw the trailer for Man of Steel, the second trailer, in fact, there is a shot of Henry Cavill coming out of the Fortress of Solitude with the cape billowing in the wind, and immediately I thought that is Superman. When they released the trailer for Batman vs Superman, there's a shot of Ben Affleck looking at the Batsuit inside a chamber. And there's a voiceover from Alfred that goes, "It's the fever. It starts like a rage that drives good men cruel." And at that shot, I said, that is Batman. When the Wonder Woman trailer came out and then she took the sword on Themyscira, I said, that is Wonder Woman.
Okay.
And with Suicide Squad, when Harley Quinn stole a jacket at the end of one of the trailers, she said, "What? We're bad guys." And I thought, that's Harley Quinn, right? The reason I'm going on this sort of tangent is because every time I've seen something from DC, even though it's not something I read in the comics, because I am a DC fan lifelong, there's always certain symbols or certain shots that make me go, yeah, this captures the essence of that character. With Aquaman, I saw pictures from Entertainment Weekly a couple of weeks ago that had Black Manta, that had Orm, played by Patrick Wilson, that had Mera, played by Amber Heard. And I looked at the pictures of the villains, because Aquaman's villains are amazing. And I thought, yes, that is Ocean Master, that is Black Manta. But there's not been a single scene with Jason Momoa, either if it's from BVS, Justice League, or whatever he's done, especially in today's trailer, that makes me go, that's Aquaman. You know, and it's so disappointing because it's not like there's not material for him, but I guess because I've always felt he's more of a Lobo than he is Aquaman. So when I saw the trailer today, I thought, first of all, this looks like Naboo under what's that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in
Gungans and
the Gungan place in Phantom Menace?
Yeah.
I'm blanking right now. I was like, okay, so this is basically Phantom Menace, and then the trailer just, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's all I gotta say.
So for you, it's I don't know.
I really don't, because I honestly, like what Del, I really wanted everything to work. I genuinely wanted.
We all do, yeah. We all do. But we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully that, they improve things with the second trailer. Although the reaction online has been, it's okay. Finally we get to see an Aquaman trailer, and we have some outlets reporting that, they're actually excited for the full movie. But we'll just have to wait and see. More news from the Warner Brothers panel at SDCC 2018. We got our first look at Shazam with a trailer.
Okay,
Now that's good.
That is so good.
Okay, I had my doubts with Zachary Levi when he was announced as Shazam because of who we know him as from TV. And then to translate onto the screen, I had my doubts. But today, I see him in the flesh as Shazam with the humor. And I thought, that's why they picked him. I totally see it now.
Same. Yeah. I wasn't sure about Zachary Levi, and then there was some behind the scenes pictures of the costume, and I thought, yeah, he doesn't look that bad. But there's been some pictures in the last couple of days of him like on magazine covers and whatnot, and I thought, wow, they may actually just get him right. And then I saw the trailer today, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's not seen it, our listeners. But yes, this movie looks like it's going to be charming and endearing, and I like it.
Yeah, Del?
I like how you don't want to spoil this, but you just you don't care about Aquaman's trailer.
I don't think anybody cares about Aquaman's trailer.
This is the best trailer out of SDCC so far.
No, it's not.
For me it is, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't know Shazam that well. I only remember him from the cartoon back in the 80s. Yeah. And to see what they are doing with this character and doing with the setup, the plot, and the humor, especially that humor, I think this could be one of the best DC movies.
Maybe on the same level as Wonder Woman, you think?
I'm hoping it'll be better because Wonder Woman's third act was just not that great.
Okay, Naz, your thoughts on Shazam?
I never doubted Zachary
Levi
in the first place, because I think he could bring out that humor we want from the character. Because I watched a bit of the cartoon, and the character is quite charming in the trailer itself. So.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He really embodies the whole kid inside kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's one of the best things that this movie has going for it, because it is such a contrast between a big burly man, but then when he talks, it's like a...
Yeah, the mind of a kid.
Yeah, mind of a kid. And
I'm a superhero.
I'm very curious to see the relationship between him and the other kid.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Like his best friend who's
Yeah.
in the same
Foster
foster home.
I just literally realized that I'm the only person who was able to tell what was happening between the two kids in the trailer, because there's that kid, his friend Freddy plays a bigger role in the overall story. But I will not spoil it for anyone.
Okay, that's out next year,
Next
April.
year, April, somewhere around there.
Can't wait for that. We also got a trailer this morning, actually, for Godzilla, King of Monsters.
Now this is the best trailer from Comic-Con.
Why?
Because I will justify this. Because creature features and monster movies have always been a Hollywood staple.
Yes.
From the 50s, you know, the big spiders from Mars, the thing from outer space. So all these...
The Blob, yeah.
Yeah, you know, these movies have always been a staple, and then they were kind of lost for a while. And the 2014 Godzilla was able to perfectly balance a tense narrative with really good monster action. So with this one coming out, it's in my opinion, the only way to go is up. So I'm super excited to see Godzilla fight his villains and his enemies in this movie.
Yeah.
So who are the villains of this movie? Because the voiceover by what's her name?
Millie Bobby Brown.
No,
The
adult.
mother.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Conjuring.
Conjuring Woman.
Vera Farmiga.
Vera.
Yeah.
So she's saying that the world is about to die, and the only way for it to survive is when these titans come together.
Yeah, they're called
To
Titans
form
now.
Voltron?
They're not monsters, they're not kaiju. They're
They're
Titans.
Who is the bad guy then? I mean, she named
King
all of
Ghidorah.
them. Is that not from not one of the titans then?
So that is one of the Titans.
So they're gonna. But then I thought the titans are here to save the world.
So I'm guessing they're gonna go with like a terraforming route, because if you see, there's shots of Washington DC that's been completely terraformed.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm guessing like they're rebuilding the world.
So yeah, because I don't get it at all, because I don't know the lore, and I'm sure. Like,
Oh no, this is completely different from the original lore.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that makes it even worse.
Let me pitch it to you right now, Del. For like $4 on a Monday afternoon, you can see a bunch of monsters fight each other.
Nope.
Man, you're just
Not good enough.
we need balance. Naz,
What's happening?
Del doesn't like it. I love it.
What? Like what?
The trailer.
The trailer, yeah.
I liked it.
All right.
Godzilla, right? No, I loved it.
Kai
Oh
was-
my goodness.
Once she said she loved it, Kai was about to turn and look at me like, there you go.
I liked it. I mean, for me, it didn't make sense.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's a trailer.
Yeah, no.
No.
There are monsters. There was Godzilla shooting
Yeah.
beams.
Yeah.
Like, how are these monsters coming to save Earth? They literally are destroying it.
They're not coming to save us, they're already here.
Well, yeah, but they are the world is about to die.
I feel like Del is selectively critical. Like the movies he likes, regardless how much it defies logic, he will say it's just a movie. But the movies that he refuses to understand, he'll be like, no. Tell me A to Z. Yeah, you know I'm right, Del. Like, there are movies that you like, I go, wait a second, the most logical person I know liked this movie? And then there's movies that you're just supposed to kind of suspend your beliefs and just enjoy the film. Del goes like, no. How is he breathing underwater? Like he's that critical. I think Del has selective
Anyway.
criticism.
It has to make sense in the universe that they present themselves in. That's
Okay,
my
we
only
got a
thing.
year.
Yeah.
It'll make sense.
We have a
later.
year.
Yeah.
We have a
Alright.
year. But here's something I can guarantee you. Del will still watch it.
He will still
He'll
watch it.
it.
Yeah,
Just-
I will.
Yeah.
So long
'Cause
as it's
I'm-
part of this podcast.
I'm being fair to the movie. I'm a very fair person.
I don't think you will.
All right. Last week we got our first trailer of a movie that I know Kai and Del at least are excited about. It's the first trailer for Glass.
Oh,
I didn't see it.
What?
I'm refusing to see it.
You don't want to know anything about it?
I want to walk in completely
Blind.
like, blown away. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we can't talk about it then.
You guys can talk about
I'm
it.
excited for James McAvoy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his character from
How it's-
Split.
yeah,
and how he
it's-
fits in with,
yeah.
Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson. Okay.
So you saw the poster, right, Kai?
I saw the poster. Yes.
Okay, so the opening sequence is them from that poster. They are sitting inside a room. Let's just say a room without spoiling it for you. They are sitting there together, and I don't understand why or how they can be sitting there together.
How they met.
And someone is chained up, but not the person you would expect. So I'm like, I don't know what I feel about this opening scene, but after that, the whole trailer was good.
Okay. Like you see very quick snippets of what we expect from the different characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole monologue that Sam Jackson's character, Mr. Glass, is giving throughout the whole trailer.
Yep.
And, he's as menacing as ever, and he has his reasons as to why he has to be that.
The best part of the trailer is that you can tell the tone of the movie is gonna be like Unbreakable. It's gonna be a very grounded, gritty, but it's still superhero based.
Yes.
You know what'll
It's
be
fantastic.
You know what'll be funny though? If M. Night Shyamalan pulls another fast one and suddenly this is related to The Village. Like he just merges all his movies into, and then like you have like a grown-up Haley Joel Osment going to a psychiatrist saying, "I see dead people."
And then at the end of it, everyone just goes down to see the lady in the water.
Or go to space. For After Earth.
we are
Wait,
we are
it's Signs?
Signs as well.
yeah.
But the best part is if he can merge all these universes with Avatar.
which Avatar?
The Last Airbender.
Oh, that's not Avatar. That's the Last Airbender. Avatar is a blue people masterpiece.
Wow.
All right, we also got a trailer last week for Robin Hood.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we got
Taron Egerton.
Taron Egerton and
Right,
Jamie
yeah.
Foxx.
Yes.
There's a trailer out, and I have to say, I was a bit like, what? Another Robin Hood movie? But this blew me away. I was like, I want to see this. And it's kind of weird to see Jamie Foxx with a, slightly British accent. Not fully British, but slightly British. And Taron Egerton's character as Robin Hood, he's like a modern day Brit. It's not like, I see thee so-and-so. It's all like, give me this, give me that. And, it's what we see him as in Kingsman and other movies that he's been in. Did you check it out?
Yeah. Well, just now Kai went on a tangent and said like one shot, then this is the character, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't see it here. Taron Egerton's Robin Hood is so different from the Robin Hood that I know, which is the Fox. And
Oh, I thought you meant the
The Fox.
1992 classic with Kevin Costner in a mullet.
I would say I would prefer the Men in Tights
Oh, Men in
version.
Tights is funny.
Yeah. Men in Tights.
Lend me your ears.
This one is just an action flick.
Yeah.
I can't swim.
This is a straight up action
But
flick. Yeah.
the way he shoots arrows, I want to see more of that. It's just that he doesn't have the height of a Robin Hood.
He doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Wow,
too...
way to attack the guy on something he has
No,
no control
I mean
of,
if you want to cast somebody right.
I
But
guess,
then again, Wolverine is very out of left field.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman, I'm talking.
Yeah,
about. But let's see the movie lah.
I just saw snippets of it on Instagram, so I don't really know what's up.
I feel like it reminds me of King Arthur, the
The like
Charlie Hunnam?
rough,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the roughneck.
Yeah, I guess that's what they're going for these
Yeah.
days with all these classic stories.
like why
Yeah.
are you wearing a really nice leather jacket
Yeah,
in those
yeah.
times?
That's true.
Because you still need to have style.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be so fancy.
Well,
And then next,
Is that by
then
Louis Vuitton?
next they're gonna do a
That fancy.
King Henry adaptation with like tattoos and stuff, and he's like throwing macaroons and it's going like no more macaroons and he's got a gun. I don't know.
anyway,
It all started with Romeo and Juliet. didn't
yeah.
it?
Anyway, that's out in November, so we're gonna check that out when it comes out. I'm kind of excited for it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it seems like an action movie with a very strong element of comedy. Ben Mendelsohn's in it, as the bad
James
guy.
Dornan's
Yeah,
there.
he's in it. So yeah, let's see what happens when it comes out. We got a fan film last week
Oh,
for Uncharted.
yes.
And Nathan Fillion is in it playing Nathan Drake. Now, this is something that we've maybe talked about on this podcast a couple of times, saying that just give it to, Nathan Fillion because he is sort of Nathan Drake. Like, we see him in his various roles and we see Nathan Drake. And this fan film proves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what is it? Like a 12-minute fan film.
Yep.
And, you see Nathan Drake. It is kind of like reminiscent of the video games where it's like one long cutscene and it tells the whole story of him getting caught and then he has to escape and da-da-da-da. Any thoughts on that?
I don't know Nathan Drake because I don't play the game.
Okay.
But I will watch this one. I will watch Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake because I think what he brings to the role and to most of anything that he does is that passion and that lovable guy that is full of charisma and also a lot of humor.
there's a certain sense of sincerity to him.
Yeah, because he is a true blue
and
geek.
a small amount of snide.
Yeah.
He's just a bit snide. I was really, really impressed because a couple of years ago when Uncharted 3 came out, I think that was a good time ago, I saw an action figure of Nathan Drake, and I thought, why is there an action figure of Mal Reinitz from Firefly here? Because he looks so similar to Nathan Fillion. And when this fan film came out, which was, I think now, if you think about it, makes perfect sense because people want him to play Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
I saw 12, 13 minutes and I thought, you don't need an Uncharted movie anymore. You got this.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping it's a Deadpool situation whereby, 10 minutes of footage result.
The fan, appetite alone is enough to push the studio to say, all right, we'll make the full movie.
Yeah.
I mean, Naz, would you watch that? For
Yes,
sure, right?
of course. I love Uncharted.
You're like the biggest video game,
This room.
panelists here in this room, since
Wait,
TV.
which one's your favorite?
3.
Really? Nice.
Okay.
But then the problem with Hollywood now is that they want to make trilogy or a franchise.
Yeah, that's true.
So what do we think about Nathan Fillion going for the next 10 years as Nathan Drake? Would he be able to do it physically?
Okay.
Well, you see, the thing
I have
is,
the perfect answer for that.
Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise is 58.
Right.
Hugh
58.
Jackman.
Yeah.
As
Hugh
well.
Jackman is 56 or something like that.
How old is Nathan?
Nathan is 40 something, late 40s.
He has time.
He has time.
Okay.
And as per the lore in the video game for Uncharted 4 came out last year, and it is an older Nathan Drake.
Yes,
So, he has time to grow into that role, possibly. Here's some big news that we have been talking about for months here on the podcast. It's about the Disney acquisition of Fox. Now, there was a bidding war against Fox and Comcast, who, put out a bid there to say that we'll buy it for X billion dollars. And then Disney drops the bomb and says, we'll do it for $71 billion plus all your debt, which makes the whole deal worth $85 billion. And there was a bit of, Disney is definitely going to get it now. Now it's crystal clear because Comcast has dropped its bid against Disney.
No one's going against
No one's going against Disney. And I think that Kai brought it up on the last couple of episodes of the podcast. He said that, well, Disney's definitely going to get it. And Comcast is probably just there to sort of up the bid for Fox.
Yeah.
It's happening, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Are we excited? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, let's just give our level of excitement of how the whole MCU getting back all the characters that they want from Fox and where it might go.
I'm excited!
Nas would be excited. She's the resident Marvel fan.
Yeah.
I'm just as pissed Del off. I'm glad Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 have a home now.
What?
And they'll probably have like a Disneyland section.
They already do. Pandora Land
they
is
already
coming
do.
2021.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm so glad that Avatar's future is secure.
Was it ever not?
No, because 2 and 3 are funded and it's being developed and we'll be seeing it in a year. But 4 and 5 was never sure. So I'm glad we're going to be getting this until the end of time.
No, not necessarily. Disney could easily pull the plug, but it depends on 2 and 3. So
I'll see you in 2034.
No,
if I'm being serious, I don't see myself watching all the Marvel movies until I die. But I think it'll be a very...
You watch Avatar, everything
I
Avatar.
do.
Yeah, I would watch Avatar. But I think it will be so beautiful to see the X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And I think I can literally stop watching after that. Like, I could literally just go, yep, I got it. I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
Is to see all these characters under the same kind
So
of feel.
I will be excited if for MCU, Disney will have the Fox section or the Fox's staff continue to produce those movies because their own people are already busy with the MCU. They need another department just to create more of these comic book heroes movies. If they were to do 4 or 5 movies a year, that would be great. But at the moment, they're only limiting themselves to 3
maximum 3.
Yeah, because they only have that much time on their hands and the people. So if they have other resources just for making more Marvel movies, then yeah, I will be excited. I don't want to just wait for another 5 years to get the first X-Men movie.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's safe to say that it's a done deal. Like, this thing is gonna go
Pretty
down.
much, yeah.
No matter what. And we'll see what the future holds for the MCU and Disney in general, getting back all their characters that they so desperately want to do something something with in the MCU.
Do you guys think they should continue with the cast of X-Men?
Absolutely not.
Which X-Men?
Like
the current
X-Men.
one.
the Ty Sheridan from the 80s.
No.
You know,
Simply
as
because the
Cyclops.
audiences will not understand. You need to wipe the slate clean, start back. But the only constant you could keep if you want to is Hugh Jackman.
That is ridiculous. Right? On one hand, you say the audience won't understand, but then you want to keep just one character. One actor to play that character.
Del, are you not protective of that beautiful man in that role?
I am, but your argument is kind of
it's kind of
contradicts itself.
I know, but no, they proper start.
Okay.
No, don't bring them back.
Because Hugh Jackman won't be coming back. He doesn't want to
I'm
do it
talking
anymore.
about the
No. I'm talking about like because in order to preserve Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, one way is to bring the whole cast back,
right?
In order for it to make logical sense. But then Hugh Jackman doesn't want to come back anymore.
For now.
Oh, yeah. But if he were to come back, it would be in Deadpool. Because Ryan is so buddy-buddy with him.
Yeah.
And he's been
I like
trying
how
to get him
Del
back.
calls Ryan Reynolds Ryan on a first name basis.
Del has him on speed dial.
He's the ninth one. Yeah.
All right. The ninth one.
Ninth one.
Why
yeah.
is he? Who's second? Who's third?
Who's one?
My parents?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Because if you had said something like Chris Evans, I would leave.
All right. More news from the DC camp. Now, the Joker origin movie, which is something we've talked about, which is one of those artsy standalone films. They've been confirmed and they have a budget of about $55 million to do this. It has landed its official title and release date. And the official title for this movie, which is going to star Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, is going to be Joker. And it is set for release in October 2019. So we've got a little bit more than a year to go. This is going to be an origin story for the Joker. I don't know. I'm not very familiar with the Joker's origin because there's so many.
Okay, so this is a case of life imitating art. Recently in the DC Comics stories, Batman acquired what is called the Mobius chair. And the Mobius chair has the answers to everything. So the first question Batman asked the chair was, who is the Joker? And for the first time in history, the chair asked a question back and said, which one? So in the DC universe right now, there is 3 Jokers in the comics. And if you notice, there is Jared Leto, Joaquin Phoenix, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a matter of time before we get another Joker. And DC makes the 3 Joker story in the comics into a film.
Okay.
No.
So it's really trippy, it's really out there, but it is the comics right now. There's 3 Jokers there.
It might be a bit confusing for the general fan to see 3 different Jokers.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it could also be a marketing genius because Joker is the best-selling villain there is.
I guess so, but even now, because we already have a Jared Leto Joker, which fans have seen on screen, for fans to come and see another Joker played by another actor who maybe portrays the role differently, it would just be a bit jarring for most moviegoers.
Yeah, it would be. So it's just interesting to see where this is going.
Okay, let's move it along because we've got quite a bit more news to go. Wonder Woman 1984. Apparently, it's said by Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins that it is not a sequel to the first one. It's just another chapter in the Wonder Woman story.
Every time I hear this, it boggles my mind. How does this make sense? The next chapter is the sequel.
No, I think what they mean is chronologically. Because I wouldn't be surprised if the third Wonder Woman is set between 1 and 2. You know what I mean? Like, Wonder Woman is immortal. So you could literally... if it's a book, you could open it at any chapter, right?
Right.
So, chapter 1 was 1918, which is World War 1. Chapter 2 is 1984. And for all you know, something that happens in 1984, maybe a reference in the third one that will take place in 1963. So, you know what I mean? It's not... It's a follow-up.
Which is what a sequel means.
Not really, because some follow-ups are a prequel.
Then that's a prequel.
Yes, but what I mean is, it's the next in release. Okay, Phantom Menace is a follow-up to Return of the Jedi, but is a prequel to the Star Wars saga. Do you know what I mean? Like, it comes after, it was released after Return of the Jedi.
The story itself takes place after the first one, so that makes it a sequel. Which is chapter 2.
Alright.
Yeah.
This could be chapter 5.
Yes, that's
but
what I'm
they
trying
made
to
it
say.
in this-
Chronologically.
But then sequel does not have that chronological factor to it. It's just a story that comes after the first one.
We will never agree on this.
All right, we could sit here the whole day arguing about this, but we've got to move it on. We're about to jump on board a nostalgia train for now because the next couple of bits of news are all about nostalgia from the 80s. First up, we've got a bit of news from Christopher Lloyd, who played Doc Brown in the Back to the Future series, and he says he would be delighted to make a Back to the Future 4
But
I mean,
how?
the fans have been rallying around this idea for the last 30 years. And this is definitely a non-starter. Robert Zemeckis himself has come up and said that, there isn't going to be a fourth film. At a recent screening of the original film in Phoenix for a festival, I think, for an event where Christopher Lloyd was like one of the guests because they were screening Back to the Future, he said that I would love to do a fourth film if they can get the idea right and if the directors and the writers, which is Bob Zemeckis and Bob Gale, come back on and maybe. I mean, I would really love to see it, but the question is, would you get Michael J. Fox to come back and play Marty McFly?
If you don't, then what's the point, right?
Exactly, right?
But he can.
I'm of the mind that they shouldn't do it because the first three is not only close to being a perfect trilogy. I admit the third one's a bit divisive, but it's written really well still.
Yeah.
Even though it's not a theme we all like, which is the Wild West, it is still a really well written trilogy and it closes itself off. There's no loopholes, there's no plot holes, nothing. There are some logic that you go, wait, what? Doc decided to get married and there's a train now?
Yeah.
But there's no questions left. You can imagine Doc and the wife went off. Marty and his girlfriend had a good life. And I just feel like coming back now would just take away from the magic of that trilogy, which is also a love letter to the 1980s.
Yeah. So as far as you're concerned, they've bookended the whole thing.
They really have.
So leave it as it is. It's gonna be a classic forever.
Yeah. It's like 20 years from now, Christian Bale saying, I want to play an old Bruce Wayne. It's like, but you were already happy with Selena Kyle.
Okay.
It's closed off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to see that one. Like
I'm actually, as I say it, I would love to see another chapter in Nolan's Batman.
But Back to the Future, I agree wholeheartedly. It is done.
Yeah, it's done.
It's just leave it as it is.
Okay, so everyone agrees. Moving on, RoboCop apparently is getting a new movie.
Oh, yes.
And it's going to be directed by Neill Blomkamp.
Oh, Del, this new RoboCop movie is a sequel to RoboCop 1.
I agree.
Oh, like with the same actors?
Yeah, but it's the fourth one to be released.
Yeah.
So it's a follow-up to
The
RoboCop
story
3
itself
is a sequel to RoboCop 1.
The story itself comes after the first one, which by definition is a sequel.
Yes.
This is a sequel.
But it is the fourth film in the saga.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're not going to get him to agree.
I guess
this.
not. Yeah, I'm
it's
trying.
fine.
I'm trying to wrap my mind around
It's the opposite for Wonder Woman.
But you
Anyway,
see, Wonder Woman.
Okay, no. We're on RoboCop.
Okay. Let's move on.
I actually think that, this is a good turn of events for the RoboCop franchise.
Yes.
They tried to reboot the series about 4 years ago.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
they did. They rebooted with that new RoboCop
Yeah.
with Joel Kinnaman, and it just didn't gel. Let's see when we get more news with regards to this new RoboCop movie. I'm excited.
It's Neill Blomkamp. I could be wrong. It's Neill Blomkamp doing it, right?
Yeah, Neill Blomkamp is directing, of
Right.
course, famously directing movies such as District 9 and Chappie. He's
He got Alien 5 taken away from him.
Yeah,
In
he's-
favor of more Ridley Scott.
which is another thing that we might tangent off into. Anyway, next bit of nostalgia for you guys. We're gonna get a new Predator movie.
Yes.
All right. And we have talked about the first full trailer where we saw the black alien. The black predator.
Ultra Predator.
Ultra Predator. Shane Black, the director for the film, has explained that the origin of this ultimate predator is actually an amalgamation of all the different species of
all the different tribes.
the
of
tribes.
yeah.
Or was it tribes? And this ultimate predator has traits taken from DNA from other species.
I think other predator tribes.
No, other species that they've hunted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what Shane Black has said. And I'm quoting here. If the predator was to be an amalgam of not just an ordinary predator, but also a collection of traits gamered from the various most powerful species that they've hunted.
Right.
Then
Yawn. This is that what is that movie again? Pacific Rim 2. Again.
Oh my goodness.
Do you mean the first movie this year that's worthy to be on my Blu-ray shelf?
I don't know. I just want to see what this ultimate predator can do, because we saw just 2 shots of him in the trailer. Just him.
Or her.
His hands are huge.
Yeah.
And he
Hold
lifts up.
enough to hold the other predator, right?
Yeah. And then more news with regards to the Predator movie that's coming out. The next Predator movie will introduce female predators.
Yeah, I heard. So they're confident this one's gonna make money.
They're
Yeah.
always confident.
Nah.
Which, like, Power Rangers were confident.
So was Terminator.
Yeah.
I actually saw the whole cast and the director of this next Predator movie on Conan yesterday.
Right.
They were there, the whole cast and crew. Olivia Munn was there. What's his name? The guy from Key and Peele.
Jordan Peele?
No, the other
Keegan
one.
Michael
Yeah,
Key.
Keegan Michael Key. Yeah, he's in there. And then you've got Shane Black, who was, fun fact, he was in the first Predator movie with Arnold. And I don't know, you know when you see like a panel of all the stars, they're always very like, yeah, and this and that and this and that. You didn't get that magic from this whole cast. Maybe it's just because they were tired because they were at Comic-Con, they were at SDCC, and that's where Conan is broadcasting over the next couple of days. But yeah, this is coming out this year. Yeah, Dell is the one that's most excited because it's a Shane Black film.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Is he really though?
No,
he doesn't have a problem with this, but he has a problem with Godzilla.
No, because... Wait, what was your point again? I was excited because it was a Shane Black film. After watching the trailer, I'm not so much.
Not so
Okay,
excited.
okay, so he's fair.
He's fair. Okay. More nostalgia, especially for Del and myself who are kids of the 80s. We have, of course, been talking about the Bumblebee spin-off movie from the Transformers franchise.
Yeah.
And how it kind of looks, it looks good because it sort of harkens back to the original cartoons. Now, there was some scenes that were screened at San Diego Comic-Con recently, and it has been reported that Optimus Prime appears as the 80s G1,
Oh.
but it's just a hologram.
Makes sense because he didn't arrive to Earth.
Yeah, he didn't arrive to Earth till the first Transformers movie.
Yeah.
And
You're still keeping that lore, huh?
That's interesting.
apparently they are as well. But I don't know how he appears as a truck. Like, why would he need to be a truck?
I don't think it's a truck because so the truck was the closest form he can to his original look, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in a Cybertronian mode on Cybertron, he looks like a truck. So he's transmitting from Cybertron, I imagine.
Yeah, I would assume so because Bumblebee apparently is like a spy who's been here since like World War One and World War Two.
Yeah, that's what Michael Bay says.
Yeah, that's what Michael Bay says. We also got a look at the new Decepticons. Apparently in the Bumblebee movie, they're not gonna overdo it. They're just gonna have 3. Alright, so we have a picture of 2. They look good. They look like they're from the cartoon. I think one is a helicopter. And then I don't know what the other one is. And we saw what we think is Starscream.
It's not. It's been confirmed.
It's not Starscream?
No, it's Blitz. I could be wrong, but it's Blitz.
Blitz. Okay.
See, 3, you're saying they're not overdoing it with 3, but 3 is one too many. I think if you have 2, you can... I'm just thinking of how Bumblebee is going up against 3 Decepticons. If you say 2, then maybe yes, he can. There will be some very suspenseful fight scenes where he's going to be overpowered by 2. But when you say 3, it's like, so all 3 of them are going to be defeated by one Bumblebee?
Well,
And Haley Steinfeld?
yeah.
Sure, because the movie wants it to.
The movie wants it to. It just depends what the writers write on the page, I guess. Okay, we're done with nostalgia, although this is a little bit of nostalgia. It's not as old. But The Dark Knight, okay, the first Christopher Nolan Batman movie the second, yeah. The one with Heath Ledger and, what is, I think, in my mind, the best out of the 3. It's getting a 10th anniversary limited IMAX re-release.
What?
So if you are, if you have access to an IMAX theater, this might be playing near you. It's getting re-released. It's 10 years since they released the original back in 2008. I was lucky enough back then to catch it while I was in Melbourne. And it's a sight to behold. You have to check it out.
I never got to see it in IMAX.
You might now.
Is it coming to Asia though?
It doesn't say here. I mean, I'm reading this off a website, which is predominantly American, but it does say that the re-release will take place in 4 North American IMAX theaters. That's in LA, in San Francisco, and New York's Times Square. They're doing it in Toronto as well.
See, my hopes just died.
If there's only 4 in America.
Exactly.
But you never know. It just might get 1 or 2 runs, or maybe like a week-long thing. Maybe in Singapore.
Nah.
No.
I'm skeptical.
You're skeptical?
I haven't seen Singapore IMAX play anything old.
No?
Have you?
No.
Yeah.
Well, we can still hope.
There's always a first.
All right. Let's move on to the Lego Movie 2. Now, Chris Pratt is going to be reprising his role as Emmett in this movie. And he sort of confirmed that Star-Lord will appear in the Lego Movie 2.
I hope it's voiced by somebody else.
It'll be so weird. And here's another thing to take note of. He says that there apparently is going to be a character, a comedic character named Rex, who will be a raptor trainer in the Lego Movie 2.
Raptor trainer.
Which is a reference to himself
character.
in Jurassic World.
This is gonna be meta.
It's going to be meta, and I don't know. Do you think this could be done and it might not be well received? Or could it be like a Deadpool thing where people just go, oh, that was so great?
Yeah.
Possibly,
I think it
because
could-
it's Lego.
Because it's a cartoon,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't
right?
matter.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a cartoon. I guess, well, bring it on. Let me see it, and then I'll say whether or not it was in bad taste. If he has a scene where the three of them are talking to each other,
And it
Yeah.
sounds exactly the same.
and he
that-
sounds the same.
That'd be
I-
so funny.
I hope we see this in Infinity War, the sequel.
Yeah.
In the time gem when we have all these three Chris Pratts talking to each other.
That's just weird.
That's funny.
All right. Any Jurassic Park fans? I know Kai is.
Yes.
All right. Naz is as well. Del is like a...
First movie, yeah.
First movie, yes.
Yeah, Jurassic
All right.
Park.
There is an anniversary happening for the original Jurassic Park. I think it's 25 years. So they have erected a Jeff Goldblum statue in London
Wow.
in that pose where he's all bare-chested
Oh
and,
my goodness.
and sexy. And I have a photo here, and it looks...
It looks like
Wait,
Jeff Goldblum.
is it a statue or like is it a wax?
It's a
thing?
statue. It's a 23-foot long statue because he's he's lying down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And it's by the London Bridge, and I'll show
by
you.
the London Bridge.
I'll show you a photo later. But it just looks wrong. If any of our listeners happen to be in London or happen to be going to London, do send us a photo.
Yeah.
Just tweet at us or tag us on Instagram, whatever it is.
It's so wrong that it's right.
It's so wrong that it's right. I just want to see it.
Yeah.
And just take a picture of it and go, yeah, I saw this and that's it. Last bit of news for any Funko fans out there, myself included. Funko is celebrating Marvel Studios' 10th anniversary with some special edition Chrome Pop series. And they're all gold. There's going to be 10 of them. And we've got Groot, we've got Black Widow, we've got Captain America, Iron Man, Ant-Man. They're all in there. Gold. Is it just me that's excited here?
Yes.
It really is just you. Yeah.
I'm not-
All right. Well, let's move it along.
Well, if TB was here, he'd be excited.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
Maybe.
I miss TV. Anyway, so that's the news this week on the Wayang Crew Podcast. If you want to get in touch with us here on the show, check out all our contact links down below. Let's move on to our review for this week. It's not going to be a long one because of what we're going to say about this movie.
There's not much to say.
Yeah, it's a movie by Dwayne Johnson, and it's called Skyscraper.
And that's the whole review.
I did not see this movie. I've been kind of busy at work and, because of the fact that we were in Singapore last week. Let's start off with Del, who has watched the movie.
Yeah. It was a movie.
It was...
It's just some people thought it would be like Die Hard for this generation, but it's really not.
No, it tried to take some of the...
yes, thank you, Naz.
to
It
take some
really
of the Die Hard
tried.
elements.
So I give them an A for effort.
Really?
It's like a combo of trying to
Really?
be Die Hard and the
And
Towering
Inferno.
or-
I give them a solid A for effort and a solid Y for doing it.
Now, is that Y one letter or WHY?
Why? Del, you want to start first?
It's really cheesy. The action weren't that great. I
I don't know.
really that shot of the Rock running across the
Crane?
the crane jumping.
It was ridiculous.
You would
I'd
have
say.
thought
Thank
that with his size and weight, he would just drop vertically down. But no, he
defied the
went-
laws of gravity.
Well, because of his size and weight, he probably has momentum. So,
Streamline.
I don't know what kind of physics you studied when you were young.
the whole Acme cartoon thing,
Yeah.
with Roadrunner
he's a
and
giant
Coyote.
bullet.
Right.
Anyway,
But if you just take it at face value, then yeah, you may be entertained.
Yeah.
You see, like when we watch Hong Kong movies, right, in the past, and they always have these caricatures of Western people in them.
yeah.
They are just one-liners, mustache twirling villains. And in this movie, they've turned it around. So the Hong Kong police were the caricatures. They had one-lines. They were just there to look pretty. I don't know, even though they're not that pretty. It's very bad for a movie to have like your side characters just there.
They didn't add to the story.
No, not at all.
They were just sort of set dressing.
There.
Yeah, why would you need to feature so much of the Hong Kong police? And they look incompetent because they are not doing their job. The head of the investigation was just sitting in his truck the whole time while The Rock was off running doing stuff.
The Hong Kong police guy is played by that same guy who was in The Dark Knight, right?
Dark Knight? I know he was
The
real.
same actor?
Yeah, the same
I
actor.
think so.
Yeah,
His
moves
surname
from
is
Gotham.
Man. What's his first name? But then
the
The man.
no A.
I just realized that he played Ryu in Street Fighter.
Oh.
Really.
Yeah.
The original one.
Yeah.
The one with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That very one. Because I noticed because there was an article that just came out saying that he was very high the whole time he filmed that movie. And it was a disaster, on set.
Kai, what did you think of Skyscraper? I'm almost afraid to ask.
Let Naz go first.
Naz,
Oh,
okay.
Well, background for the movie, I guess. The Rock is an ex-FBI agent.
Yeah.
And now he's become head of security for Pearl Tower in Hong Kong, which is the tallest building in the world,
okay.
right here. And then, so he lives in the tower. His family works there.
He doesn't live there. He's just there for
Stays
a
there?
job interview. Well, the family go and test out one of the apartments.
Building, yeah. And then hackers hack into the security of the building, and then they become arsonists as well, right?
Yeah.
No, they wanted to blow up the building
Yeah.
in order for them to get hold of a device which controls the
Still
the
arson.
pearl. Still arson. Yeah, still arson. I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a group of baddies who want to
Yeah.
get something from the building, and
Yeah.
they end up setting the whole building on fire.
Yeah.
And then
okay.
he has to save his family because he's the
The risk manager for the building.
no, that's not what
No?
I meant. He's like,
Oh.
that family
Because-
guy. He has to save his family.
Oh, because it's all about family
and
from
all
Fast and
odds.
Furious. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Against all odds. It's your typical disaster movie. Guy tries to save his world.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Ridiculous stunts done. There's a lot of stunts done.
Scotch tape to become Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Right.
One
tape.
of the lines that I thought was facepalm was, what was it, Kai?
If you can't fix it using duct tape, you're not using
Enough duct tape.
Who says that on their own?
So
Hollywood.
A guy who sells duct tape.
I think out of Dwayne's 3 movies the past 6 months, this would be the
worst.
The bottom.
The bottom.
What was the movies the last?
We had
months?
Jumanji, we
And
had
Rampage.
Rampage.
Oh, right,
and then
okay.
So
that.
I thought Jumanji was on top.
Right,
and
followed by
Rampage.
Rampage.
All right, Kai, finally you.
There's a thing, there's a myth known to man that he who is named Dwayne Johnson shall be the greatest man on earth in every movie he does, right? I can't be wrong. Every movie he's done, he's the
Yes.
greatest man on earth.
Yes.
Right?
Except Scorpion King.
I have not seen that.
But he is a king there.
Yeah,
True.
so when I was watching this movie, it had a great, very visual opening with that police standoff
Yes.
in Skyscraper.
Okay.
Which I thought, if this was the tone of the film, this would be a great film, right? Because it was tense. And then somewhere along the way, The Rock barely got injured, held up an entire bridge, including his own body weight, by lifting the titanium cables with bare hands.
I have no idea what was going on back then.
Okay? He lifting the titanium cables with bare hands, being able to breathe all the way up there on top of, we're almost hitting the, stratosphere.
The stratosphere.
At that point. But he's able to breathe and is not freezing to death. All he literally does is wear the same shirt, duct tape himself around the building, and do these crazy stunts with a prosthetic leg.
Yes, that's what I forgot to mention.
Is it
Right.
bionic in any way?
No, it's not bionic. It's the usual carbon Kevlar titanium
okay.
titanium mold. But no, it's just come on, man! Come on, man!
Does the
Put
leg
some effort into the writing.
Does the leg turn into a gun or something?
No, nothing.
it's
It's literally nothing.
So it's just a prosthesis leg.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh wow, okay. I think I saw that in the trailer. Well, the thing is, I saw the trailer and I thought, this is another one of those turn your brain off kind of movie that you have to enjoy. But now, from what I've heard from you guys,
You can't even enjoy it.
I know. I think you can if you really turn your brain off.
Really turn it off.
Turn it off.
I don't know what that is. Are there levels to turning off your brain? Or?
Just I don't know. Just stare at the screen.
I think one good thing about this is that The Rock managed to get Neve Campbell to act in the movie again.
After a long time,
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
and
been years.
I think she did her own stunts. I could be wrong, but she kind of
wouldn't know.
She kind of
I
kicked
liked
some
her
butts.
scenes. I liked her scenes.
Okay. Okay, collectively, let's just do this very quickly. Let's give your ratings because I haven't watched the movie. Let's start off with Del out of 10.
3.5.
3.5, that's low. Kai.
With Baywatch, at least I really enjoyed it, and there was like a lot of really good lines in the film.
No!
Come on, you could not tell me you weren't laughing when he called Zac Efron High
New
School
Kids on the
Musical.
Block.
Yeah, New Kids on the Block.
Come on, guys.
NSYNC.
I would give this 2 rocks out of 10.
2.
I would give it a 2. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Naz.
Oh, am I the most lenient one here?
I think you are.
I give it
6.5.
no,
Not that high.
I give it a
7.
5 tall towers.
5 pearls.
Yeah, 5 pearls.
pearls.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 2 of you who are panning this movie, absolutely. And we've got Naz who's, 5. It's okay.
It's alright.
It's alright.
Just don't care. I mean, visually it was good.
I think my problem is that there's no good fights. There's no good hand-to-hand combat in this movie.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
it's that's a staple in an action movie, whether it's in Mission Impossible, Fast and Furious. There's always a good fight scene that you go, yeah, that was a good fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there isn't any in this.
Nah, not this one.
Just
Jumping.
try hard
Jumping
stunts.
and-
Yeah.
right.
Parkour.
Funny thing is that the marketing team for this movie actually responded to the fan reaction to the first trailer, which was, this kind of looks like Die Hard, this kind of looks like Towering Inferno, and they made posters mimicking Die Hard and the Towering Inferno, and I saw those and I thought, well, they're really going for it this time, aren't they? And judging from what you said, I guess they tried and they really failed.
They tried.
All right.
A for effort.
All right, so that's the Wayang Crew review this week about Skyscraper. It's not a long one, but it is showing in local cinemas. If you do want to check it out, even after hearing what we have to say about it, go ahead. I mean, it's still a movie, as Del said. But yeah, do let us know if you have checked it out and what you thought of it. Which brings us to our final last bit of the show, which is...
Oi, apa lihat-lihat? Apa lihat-lihat? Hoi, 看什么看？ apa lihat-lihat?
Apa lihat-lihat?
你看什么看？
apa lihat-lihat? See what see? 笑了。
That's right, it's called Apa Liat Liat, and it's what else we've been watching besides Skyscraper. Let's start off with Del.
I went on a Frank Darabont, Stephen King marathon, if you would
Like a
call
binge?
it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it started with Shawshank Redemption.
Oof.
Oh, the feels at the end when they
Ziwatanehu.
finally met. Hey.
I'll see you in Ziwatanehu.
Yes. Such a well-directed and well-written movie. It doesn't have any spectacle to it, but then just the story itself.
Yeah.
The friendship between Red and, what's his name? Yeah. Andy, yes.
First, man, and like I like that.
This whole movie had him narrating, so that was like one of the best things about it.
My favorite line from the whole movie, I mean, it's like a 2-hour, 40-minute long movie.
Yeah.
My favorite line from the movie is when the warden shoots himself
Right.
in the office, and you hear Red narrating saying, I would like to know what went through the warden's head that morning, besides the bullet.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And then the salvation lies within with the hammer.
Yeah.
So good.
The little chisel
Yeah,
that he used.
so good.
And the next movie was Green Mile.
Oh, dude, no.
Another good one.
No, I can't. It's too painful.
It's I think watching it, like, this is like the second or third time that I'm really sitting down
Like
watching
really
it
watching
the
it,
whole
yeah.
way through. And I realized why they got Tom Hanks to play that role, because at the end, when he went to shake the hand of
Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark, I could not stop crying. I was like ugly crying.
Yeah.
It was so
I
good
have to say, this is one of those movies that
you would ugly
I
cry.
react.
That was the final scene where he has to, it's time for him
electrocute
Yeah, and
to get electrocuted. Yeah.
and you had the other guy, what's his name, David Morse, standing beside Tom Hanks saying, "You gotta say it, like you gotta tell them to start the electrocution."
Yeah.
And he's just standing there, not moving. Oh,
On the day of my judgment, when I meet, like when he says that line, I'm like,
yeah.
All right.
And then the third one was The Mist.
The Mist
oh,
was
so good,
Oh,
Thomas
good.
Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he got punished.
Well, you
Not
had,
as good as the other two by a mile, but as a story, I guess it
By
was
a
okay.
green mile?
By a green mile. As a story, I guess there was something there because the ending was something that was shocking.
well, maybe give it time. Maybe there'll be a Shawshank Redemption. So you had a good week in movies this week. Okay. Moving on to Kai. What else have you been watching? Apa Liat?
So I've been on a Mission Impossible binge. So Mission Impossible is one of those franchises that I've only watched the movie once when it came out.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, yeah, that was a good movie.
Okay.
Same
But
here.
I've never watched it together because I'm excited for the sixth one.
Yeah.
Which is coming out next
same
week, by the
here.
way.
Yeah. So I watched Mission Impossible 1. The first thing that's very hard for me to accept is that Tom Cruise was 30-something in that movie.
Yeah. He looks really young. He looks like
He's 34.
mid-20s,
Yeah,
He's got a
34.
baby face.
He's got a baby face. He still does, if you look at it like...
Yeah. And so I watched that one, and I like the fact that John Voight played the original Mission Impossible character and turned out to be a villain. I watched the second one and I thought, why? And then
Yes.
I finished the third one last night, and obviously J.J. Abrams is a master. That was his first directing gig. That was his first movie.
Yes, because he came straight from TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow.
How did he not get more movies?
He did. He just preferred to be a producer.
Okay.
So I'm gonna watch the fourth and the fifth one hopefully in time for fall.
Those are good, the fourth and the fifth
yeah,
one.
I'm super excited. Yeah.
You've got about maybe 4 days before the release of Mission Impossible Fallout, which is happening this coming week, I think, on
Yes.
July 25th, 26th. So Mission Impossible. You got the Blu-rays in Singapore.
I did.
Lucky
Oh.
you. All
What,
right.
the box set or?
Yeah, like box set, all 5 movies.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, moving on to Naz. What else have you been watching this week?
I watched Mission Impossible 1.
Nah.
No way.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun. Oh, I loved it. Oh my gosh.
So you watched only the first one then?
Only the first one, and then I watched Prometheus.
Oh, the
Wow.
alien.
The alien
prelude.
from why?
Oh, she's
You
face
liked
palming.
it?
She's face palming.
No, I'm asking you, why did you watch it?
Oh, why did I? Oh no, my brother is playing the Blu-ray.
So it was on.
It was on, so I was like, okay, I want to watch this. I liked the intro, and then
I liked the bits where things started to go haywire.
Yeah,
and then
and that-
after that, it was like,
it
what
was
is going on?
long and draggy.
I actually really like that movie.
What? You like long and draggy movies?
Okay, that was funny. No, because so the problem with Prometheus is you got to read the companion book.
Okay.
A lot of the information is in that book.
You read?
While watching the draggy movies,
Dale,
reading the
I'm about to
companion
blow
book.
your mind. I also went to school.
No. Like you read the Prometheus companion book. I mean, you would read.
No, but then why?
What kind of book? Was
Why
it?
have a companion
it's
book?
art book / companion book. Because Ridley Scott... Whoa, I'm about to really put some flame on the Wayang Crew with this. Ridley Scott should stop.
Yeah.
Retire.
Well,
He's done. He's so past his prime.
No way. Wait a minute.
What?
You're talking about the same Ridley Scott that gave us The Martian, as well as Money in the World. All the Money in the World.
Yeah, he's also the guy who gave us Alien Covenant,
Alien.
Prometheus.
Look, he should
Kingdom of
stop
Heaven.
Aliens.
Alien
Kingdom
1.
of Heaven?
Alien
Yeah.
1. Alien
Kingdom
1.
of Heaven was a long time ago.
What?
You should not bring back someone's past.
Kingdom of
Oh, wow, Naz. Way to hit the point home.
No. Kingdom of Heaven was a long time ago.
No, I'm just saying...
Directors can have their ups and downs.
I'm just saying... Not Christopher Nolan. I'm just saying when he has his misses, there's such big misses.
Yes,
Very
that's
big
true because he had that big one with Brad Pitt, and it was a whole A-list cast. What was that? This really long and draggy drama. What is it
and draggy
called? It was
movies.
just like 6-7 years ago. But anyway, yes, he should stop making Alien.
Yeah, sorry, Naz, not to steal the thunder from you. What did you think of Prometheus?
Oh, yeah, I told you, long and draggy.
Okay, but do you think mythologically it's...
You have to ask somebody who knows the mythology of...
I was actually no, yeah. Mythologically, it's pretty cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
like how they want to find how humans.
But you see,
were
that's where you divide the true Alien fans, because they
Yeah.
think the mythology is all off.
Yeah.
Because the alien was an accident, right? Because
Yeah.
the idea is that when the Nostromo...
They just found it. Yeah, they
Yeah,
just
when the
found it.
Nostromo arrived on LV-426,
Yep.
it was an accident. And
Yeah.
So...
So they didn't really need to explore what
Yeah.
happened before.
No,
that.
no, I get it. I do understand, and I read the companion book, and basically, do you guys care if I tell you what the point of
I
Prometheus
mean,
was?
just
Yes.
go
So
ahead.
the black man, if you notice when they go onto the engineer ship, is that they have the xenomorph in deified positions, like Michelangelo's paintings.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because the xenomorphs were a creature that visited the engineer planets,
Right.
and they gave them the black matter through which the entire world was built.
Yep.
And that's why the engineers have tried to recreate those creatures.
Oh, okay.
Right.
They want to recreate the being. So the reason why it's called Prometheus is because Prometheus was the Greek god that gave man fire.
Yeah.
Right.
And in the engineer's eyes, those xenomorphs, those creatures, gave them technology and
Right.
science and basically microbiotic life.
Yep.
And they want to recreate that, just like
Yes.
humans recreated fire. But the problem was with the whole third act, it just became a monster film.
Yep.
Yeah.
And further watching Alien Covenant, it just got worse.
Okay.
So that's why I thought Prometheus was the least evil of the two, because
That's true.
there's a certain mythology there.
But it's such a yawn.
It really my favorite part is
Long
when
draggy movie.
my favorite part is when Michael Fassbender gets that vial of the black substance,
Yes.
and then he goes, "Big things have small beginnings." Like, you know that line?
Yeah.
It's such a good line. Like every time that year somebody goes like, "Oh, I'm in a relationship and hopefully I'll marry her," I'm like, "Big things have small beginnings." I kept quoting that line.
All right, now that you've talked a little bit about the alien mythology, let's consider having like a alien special episode where we talk about, from
Yeah.
Prometheus all the way to Alien.
Sure.
I gotta rewatch everything.
Yeah.
I have the box set if you want.
Okay.
Wow.
right. All right.
I'll finish this section off with saying, Mission Impossible 2 gave me the best theme song. Out of all.
Oh, the Limp Bizkit one.
Oh yeah, it's Limp Bizkit, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it was.
No, but not the song, just the soundtrack.
Oh.
The opening track.
Oh, the wrong one. The wrong one,
Yeah, that's Limp Bizkit recording that.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. So nothing speaks 2000, year 2000, like Limp Bizkit, Tom Cruise with long hair and a leather jacket and Oakleys. It's like,
Long
this
hair,
is
long hair.
Yeah, this is 2000.
All right. I guess that's the episode.
Yeah. What have you been watching?
What have I been watching?
CC what?
CC what? See what?
What's he see?
I actually had a chance to check out this movie yesterday, and I had no intention of watching it. It's just that I saw it available on demand, and I thought, let's see what this is. I watched Tully.
Oh,
Really?
Tully. Which one's Tully?
Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
She plays a mother, and
Right.
it's a story about how
I've not seen this.
It's so good.
I love
Oh.
There were certain parts in there where I teared up a little bit because of, it pulls on emotional heartstrings. It's just a story of how this mother is dealing with the second child that she just had, and it becomes so overwhelming. But there's a nice story there, and I recommend you guys check it out. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys.
Yeah, but I'm already feeling the feels.
yeah. So it's one of the Focus feature films. So this is like an Oscar bid thing, I guess.
Wow.
It tried to.
Yeah, I tried to. But yeah, check it out if you haven't already checked it out. Tully, great movie. Great fun time, I guess. It's not very long. It's about an hour and a half long. So
Okay.
yeah, if you've got an hour and a half to spare, check it out. So there you go. That's the episode this week on the Wayang Crew Podcast. If you want to get in touch with us here on the show, check out our contact links down below. And we'll see you next week where we will be doing a review of Mission Impossible Fallout, the 6th movie in the Mission Impossible franchise. We are very excited about that. I'm sure Kai is. Del, are you?
Yes.
Okay. Naz?
Yeah.
All right. Next week, Mission Impossible 6. I'm Kev from the Wayang Crew signing off. We'll see you next week. Bye.